The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
March 2021. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House One Communications and Lindo's. I'm Jamal Hartman, along with Karla Lacey. Thanks for making us part of your daily routine. If you're watching online, share the link. If you're on Facebook, start a watch party. If you're on Twitter, retweet it. If you're watching on Channel 82, call someone up, let them know we're on. Just get the conversation out there to your network, and don't forget to like and engage with us. Another good one today is Karla Lacey from the Bermuda Underwater Exploration Institute and Zach Moniz from Lindo's are stopping by to discuss World Water Day. The Daily Play is
I get to sing it.
It's a say it, don't sing it. So Karla is going to guess the lyrics to a popular song, and the biggest hint is that she does not have to sing this one.
Oh, I can rap it. Yeah.
See, she got
Biggie, can't you see?
Got the hint so fast. So it's absolutely no reason she should get this song. Like, honestly, if you get this wrong, there are going to be some questions. So you've got about 55 minutes to study real hard throughout the conversations.
You say this every week about every category, and I usually get it wrong. So I have no expectations. I just can't wait to rap or sing. Can we beatbox? I can beatbox too, you know.
No, we don't want to hear that. No. So it's a lot going on. It looks like, and I'm guessing you'll touch on it in your news, there's some troubles in paradise regarding the government of Bermuda's political party, PLP. Looks like there's someone going before court and some leaks happening, but I know you'll touch on that some more. Am I right or wrong? Or?
Perhaps. No, you're right.
Perhaps. Okay. But I want to start off with, obviously, the big hot topic of the week has been the royal family situation. And as much as I want to avoid it because it's just become a gossipy, just here and there social media thing, I think there's so many lessons in everything. And when I say everything, in terms of the information that we're receiving and what we choose to do with the information that we receive. I mean, most people, we did discuss Piers Morgan yesterday, and now Piers Morgan is no longer with the, was it Good Morning Britain?
Yes.
Good Morning Britain. Actually walked off the set yesterday when Alex Beresford, I believe his name is, kind of put him in his place. But it's with the internet, and this is something we have to understand with the internet, things don't go away anymore, right?
The memes are hilarious too.
Yeah, it's all coming back to bite him in the you know what. But I just want to touch on something because it keeps coming up as if Piers Morgan is a bad guy because pretty much dismissed Meghan Markle's claim that she was feeling suicidal, and I think it was so personal for him, right? And I asked myself, if it were someone else, would he feel the same way? And the reason, and there's a lesson in this, the reason I always say that the most important thing about this show is the audience. Like, it's not about me. I've said time and time again, despite my relations with the Bermuda Regiment, despite my conscription fight, if the CEO of the regiment wanted to come on this show, we're going to have a conversation on this show. This is not about me, right? And so I don't believe in criticizing others in the same, industry or doing the same thing. But I just think when I speak about not being personal and just focusing on issues, that's what I mean. I think that when you look at the clips, past clips, and then you start watching how it unraveled, with Mr. Morgan, it did come across a bit personal. And I just, it takes me back to when I was speaking at the Digital Leadership Conference with the young people. And Piers Morgan was always, Donald Trump used to talk about ratings and followers and numbers. Piers Morgan was the only other person I've seen speak about ratings as much as Donald Trump. Like, he's always on about his ratings. And, yesterday or day before, it was a Monday, I believe, he said, "Oh, our ratings are the highest they've ever been, da da da." And then just this morning, he sends out another one, now that he's no longer there, that they finally passed BBC Breakfast, which I guess is the top morning show there. And the lesson that I was really trying to strike home with the young people in Bermuda at this conference was, do not focus. You can get all the viewers, all the followers you want. That doesn't mean it's going to be quality content, right? That to me is where Piers Morgan is probably he's challenged, because he got what he wanted, but did what he get and what he wanted, was that the real success? And that's how we have to look at things. Like, what do we want? Do we want everybody following us and supporting us, or do we want to be here to make a positive difference within the community?
I think it depends on who you ask, because if for some, like, it translates into dollars. Use any of the gossip sites or what have you, or use Maury, just for example, the show, or Jerry Springer. People love to hate it, but they were advertising gold, But I'm sure he's probably woken up to a few lucrative new deals today. I'm sure of it. He'll be back.
Well, absolutely. I think he has a privilege that others don't have. And I think he will be okay. I think Piers Morgan would be okay. But I guess the point I'm making is, all of the people you just mentioned don't look like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what it's some people can do that. Some people can have that. When we're focused, and I was speaking to various children, I don't know their races, but it can be lucrative. But at the end of the day, how many people is it going to be lucrative for? I mean, we just Rush Limbaugh just passed away. One of the most controversial people. Guess who used to advertise on Rush Limbaugh's show? Bermuda Tourism. So, I mean, like, yeah, they're going to make money. There are going to be people who support them, right? But is that the type of following? Is that what you want? That's what you have to ask yourself. The other thing, it really stood out to me. Again, I mentioned the responses to him, right? And I'm reading through tweets, and obviously not everyone disagrees with Piers Morgan. But we live in a time where if someone sat here and said, "I don't believe Meghan Markle," then people are going to attack them. And I think we really need to relook at who we've become, because, I obviously don't believe in freedom of speech. I believe you do have the freedom to say what you want in certain aspects, but there are consequences to that, right? So yes, there are consequences to this so-called freedom of speech. But it's one of those things where the people who are proponents and fight and speak about freedom this and freedom that are so quick to want to knock down people who disagree with them. I have no problem with anyone who doesn't believe Meghan Markle. That's fine with them. I may agree, believe her, but why are we chastising people who don't believe her?
But that's all over social media, unfortunately. I think people, as much as social media gives people a voice, I think that it's lost its way in the sense, as soon as you disagree, you're a pariah, regardless of what the circumstance or who it is. And I know for me, I was that pit bull person where we would debate. And now I just look at stuff and I'm like, you know what? Even though I may feel differently, I can't be bothered with all the attacks, and then it gets, like you say, a personal, or they go and do a separate status and they're dogging you out. And it's like, because I disagree with whatever my position is, it just doesn't seem worth it anymore. I like a healthy debate, but I also feel that it doesn't have to be emotional. Once you start getting emotional, I tune you out. I'm not talking to you anymore.
Indeed. And sometimes you just have to, walk away. And it's better for your health. Trust me. Charles H. Jeffers says, "I would love to see the regiment CO on TDH." I don't, I don't know why you all think anything. No, but truthfully told, when we were fighting to end conscription, I had the CEO William White on my show back when I was at Hot 107.5. No, I'm serious about that. Like, it's this is about conversations that'll change.
Matter.
They're important conversations. So again, it's not about me. But again, there's lessons to this. There are definitely lessons. Teresa Stewart says apparently ITV lost 230 million pounds after the exit of Pierce. So he
probably the value of his contract.
I mean, I don't obviously I'm not, I don't have access to his show, but was it like, I'm guessing by the name, it was like a Good Morning America kind of show?
Yeah. I look, it's so funny because I promised Terry and Leah that I would get up and watch it this morning because I wanted to see because I'm here in the UK. For those of you who don't know, I wanted to see how the show was going to transition today because it will be the first show without him. But it started at 6 a.m. I was like, okay, I'll catch the YouTube video.
6 a.m.
Not happening.
You know what you were still in bed at 6 a.m.?
Of course. There is nothing to be up at 6 a.m. for.
But Karla,
nothing
over here, we're up at 6 a.m. on the streets running from wildlife.
I was running all right, running in my dreams. I'm not a morning person.
Oh, well, folks, she is not a morning person.
I book flights in the afternoon so I don't have to get up to fly. That's how bad I am.
If I didn't have to wake up early mornings and do stuff, I'm like you. I would rather take a late flights. Nothing like catching those early flights, being in long lines. Real quickly though, so let's talk about. You said you're going to have it in your newscast about something regarding Zandy Silva, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So here's the thing with, and I don't know what way your newscast break's going to go, right? But I just want to say this. There was a time, right? And this, I feel very strongly. If anything I say this morning, every day there's something you all say, I did something, whatever. But this is it today. Here's your thing. There was a media thing last week, apparently on Zoom. And it was talking about anonymous people on blogs and stuff, writing stuff. And I'm mad that I didn't get to attend. And as I'm getting that notice from different people last night, and I was out, so I didn't really get to see everything. It seems like there's no trust in the organization. And the organization I speak of is the Bermuda Progressive Labor Party. And all I'm going to say when it comes to that kind of stuff is when there is no trust and when leaks start to happen and different things, look at the leadership. Look at the leadership of the organization. Because that is where the problem starts. When I'll use the whole anonymous thing. It's no different from leaks to me. You have the news reporting a source who doesn't want to be named. Let me be extremely clear this morning when it comes to this. I worked for an organization who thought I was doing that stuff, right? But let me be clear. See this mic? This one right here. This is the only thing that I'm behind. And I think this is important because I say it regarding our fight with conscription. We knew the consequences of breaking the law, and we were prepared to deal with them. There isn't a person or a group of people that scare me enough to want to be anonymous or to leak stuff. Because if I don't like you, you're going to know. I just feel there's no situation that has made me fear anything enough to want to be anonymous. No, people may say, well, it's people in certain jobs, they don't want to be named. That's why things are the way they are, because everybody's scared to stand up.
Okay, real quick, but not everybody has that same gumption that you or I or others may have, because like you said, it does come at a cost. With the leak, for me, what irritated me about that was that he had only sent it last night, and within minutes to a couple of hours, it was in the public's hands.
Mhm.
And so the irony of it is that the last sentence said something like, I consider the PLP my family. Well, this is what your family does to you. It's like,
Again,
is nothing sacred?
I feel you. It's somebody in there. I mean, man or woman isn't courageous enough to stand up and let them know how to. That's why people say, "Oh, you should get in politics." No, you all would not like me in politics. I was a delegate in the PLP. I unpopularly about 12 years ago stood up in a delegates conference and was totally against the move on cannabis at the time. You know, so I stood my ground. But I understand, Karla, everyone's different. Everyone's not going to fight the same. But there's too many cowards amongst us in leadership positions, and they're costing us. They're costing us.
Not a good look.
Moves need to be made. Let's go to a few comments. Kathy Brumby said it's very hard to feel sorry for millionaire influencers. Teresa says Curbs Media Anonymity webinar was dope. Definitely look forward to part 2. Elizabeth says that says a lot about your family. LOL. Exactly. Broken family for sure. Canton Trot says the difficulty is that if you are named or stand up for certain things, depending on your job, they can discipline. Well, yeah. Truth be told, they told us we should stop speaking on our case because it was sub judice and whatnot. Yeah, that didn't stop us. They're telling basically you, Dr. Brown's not supposed to speak on his because it's sub judice. You think it's gonna stop? At the end of the day, the whole point is to disobey the laws you disagree with, and you know, it's too many people who are afraid to stand up for things because they don't want to lose all that they've sucked up, that they haven't earned, but they've been given. They don't want to lose it. We see these people, and many of them look just like us. Karla, you ready for the news?
Sure am.
All right, she laughing. You look, this is a mild me today. Look, I got my boy Zach in the background. I can't be too bad. I don't want him to get, rough me up. All right, news break, and then don't forget we'll have Karla Lacey and Zach Moniz coming up after the news break, and then it is Wednesday, so you don't want to miss this segment of Movement with Tamara Janelle brought to you by Peoples. It is a very, very important episode about happiness today, so stick with us after all of this.
Penned by PLP MP Zane De Silva to Premier David Burt and PLP colleagues has been making the rounds via social media after being leaked. In the brief correspondence, Mr. De Silva reveals that he and his daughter will be appearing in magistrate's court this morning to face charges stemming from an event at the Blue Restaurant, which was organized by his daughter, her business partner, and the MEF group. You will recall that videos from the event went viral last summer after footage showed then Ministers De Silva and Wayne Keynes present amongst many who did not appear to be complying with government-regulated COVID restrictions. Soon after, both men were relieved of their cabinet duties. In the message, Mr. De Silva goes on to say that he and his daughter are innocent. He adds he has been compliant with the police, but feels his daughter has been treated with, quote, a heavy-handed approach, which saw her home raided and her spending a day in police custody. A day of awesomeness is a day that we can definitely get behind. It is a celebration of everything that is awesome, including you, Jamal. After all, people are awesome every single day, yet they don't recognize it. On this day, though, it is different. Awesomeness is in all forms and it should be appreciated. The best way to celebrate a day of awesomeness, why don't you just be you? Walk down the street and be your awesome and incomparable self, and then make a point of recognizing the awesomeness in other people. Get together with a bunch of friends, socially distant and government regulated compliant, of course, and host an awesome Olympics where you demonstrate the most phenomenal feats of awesomeness you can imagine. Turning to weather, the temperature in Bermuda is expected to reach a high of 66 today. New York City will see a high of 53, and Liverpool, UK, a high of 54. That's your Daily Hour news break.
You're almost too, Karla.
I can't stand this young man.
I just happy awesome day, Karla. You're an awesome. Oh man, you're awesome. That
Okay, enough.
was
Enough.
all right. We're gonna take a quick break.
Yes, sirs.
Don't go anywhere. We have some awesome people coming up. We're talking about World Water Day. Yeah, we're gonna be awesome. Stick with us.
Good day, Medical House Doris speaking. Can I help you?
Medical House is Bermuda's leading one-stop shop for healthcare. Bermuda's top doctors, dentists, care homes, and the hospital choose Medical House for a wide range of products.
Anything that we ask them to do, they come through.
These same professional quality products are available to you for home healthcare.
If we can use them, we definitely do so.
Medical House is best known for its uniforms and footwear. It also has restaurant uniforms that stand up to even the toughest shifts. If you're on your feet all day, Medical House has comfortable and stylish shoes that are also durable and easy to clean. Everyone needs some help cleaning up, and Medical House has got it. Leading-edge janitorial, facility, and maintenance supplies are all here. Medical House is on Millreach Lane in Pembroke, where there's private parking right outside the door. Call or visit Medical House today.
The everyday use of spices goes back well over 6,000 years, evidenced by archaeological finds in Europe, including remains of spiced food. Since 1976, the Frontier Natural Foods Co-op has been bringing a wide range of exciting flavors to the table. The results are good news for the environment and more robust, fragrant, essential oils in these natural seasonings. We're featuring Frontier Natural Products, organic ground cloves, rub sage leaf, and poultry seasoning. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
All right, welcome back to the awesome show. Karla Zul, Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, Lindo's, and our friends over at Channel 82, where you can also watch this and many other locally produced shows if you have One Communications. Cable, what are you laughing at, Karla?
You're awesome.
Well, Charles says, look, it's awesome day, not compliment day. Of course, I missed compliment day, and so I combined the two for
He
her.
couldn't even do that right. He couldn't even do that right.
Oh, I'm getting better at this. We appreciate you, Kathy and Charlotte. We definitely appreciate you. Without further ado, we're talking about Water Day, and as I think about Water Day and done some research as we were bringing on Zach and Karla, I just always, I remember saying earlier this year, back in January, why hasn't Bermuda sold to other countries and places in the world the way we catch our water, right? Why hasn't that become bigger? And then some guy released a TikTok video. I don't know if you remember that. And Memes had shared it and it went viral about how Bermuda catches its water. But I think that's something that we really don't celebrate enough. Yeah. So let's bring in, and folks, I want to say this before we bring them on as well, as I'm doing the research, right? And this shouldn't be a surprise to anyone, but water is something that and when I say we, most of the people who are a part of this show and all of the audience, I believe we probably take water for granted. And what I mean by that is, and I'm not talking about, countries that you've been told are poor and don't have running water. Let's talk about the US, where, Flint, Michigan, there's been issues for ages regarding water, right? It's something that we've been brought up to think, oh, it's all right.
It's just there.
Yeah, it's there. So definitely these kinds of conversations are extremely important that we should be having in our community. And I'm thankful that we are going to be having this conversation as to what is going on for World Water Day at the Bermuda Underwater Exploration Institute. So without further ado, let's bring in Karla Lacey from the Bermuda Underwater Exploration Institute and Zach Moniz from Lindo. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, so let's get right to it. World Water Day is coming up on March 22nd. So Karla, tell us just a bit about the history and what's the purpose of this day.
So World Water Day really was developed to bring a focus on the need for water worldwide. I mean, you were right, Jamal, when you said a few minutes ago that we take it for granted in most developed nations, but water has different meanings all across the world. But one of them, obviously, is for us as individuals, for our own benefit, for health, And then you need water for communities. We are surrounded by water here in Bermuda, but it is not water that is naturally something that we can take advantage of for our own personal self when it comes to our health. But there are many nations and countries around the world where they search for water on a daily basis. They do not have the same access. They do not have the same opportunities to grow their food, to power any of their mechanical needs. I mean, it is just it's something that is needed. It is something that's central to life, and not everybody has the access that they could or should. And so World Water Day was really developed to bring that to the forefront.
Indeed. And talk to us a bit about the Bermuda Underwater Exploration Institute is hosting an open house to educate and celebrate the importance of Bermuda's past, present, and future, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a bit more about the event itself.
Okay. So, I'm new here. I started January 1st. And one of the first things after getting to know the awesome team here was that, there are many people in Bermuda who still have not been to the Bermuda Underwater Exploration Institute. And they're of all ages. I mean, and many young people come through here when they're, 5, 6, up to the age of 10, and then they may never come back again. So we really wanted to have the opportunity to open up to the community, to remind them of the fact that we're here, what it is that we do, what our mission is, what our vision is, and to use it to open our doors in a way that makes sense to Bermuda as a community. So World Water Day was one of the first worldwide events coming up that we knew we could partner with and could play in this space. I mean, there's Ocean Day as well, coming up in, I believe, June. But this particular event was done to kind of make the connection between water and Bermuda's prosperity, as you said, past, present, and future, and all of us individually. Something you said earlier that was really interesting was you said, we could teach other people how to do what we do here. And really what I've learned in this process is that in the process of preparing for World Water Day, it's not unique to Bermuda. You look at the Mediterranean, you look at the Middle East, there are a number of countries that for hundreds of thousands of years have been catching water in a way that's similar to Bermuda. And someone who really has the background on all of this is Larry Mills. So what we're doing on that day is we're kicking it off with a video that we've made just for the day, and hopefully we'll expand it afterwards. But it's a 7-minute video that features a number of local thought leaders in the area of environment and that are subject matter experts around things to do with water. Someone like a Larry Mills, although he claims he's not an expert in any way, he is most knowledgeable about Bermuda First, I think that's how he terms it. But it's when our settlers first came to Bermuda, and he posed the question, what would you rather have? Would you rather have a roof over your head or shelter, or access to fresh drinking water? And when we were talking about World Water Day and how we could make this connection with people, especially, here in Bermuda, where we think, we have it all, we have water, we catch it, we really don't take anything from the rest of the world, we're totally self-sustainable and we're set. There were a couple things that came forward in the discussion. One, that's not true, because we are part of a circle that consumes goods and services that take so much water. So we looked at from the early days, that's what it's called, first days, early days. When they arrived, and you think they came in June and they shipwrecked and they waded onto shore, they probably had barrels of water on the ship. If it didn't go down with the ship, they would have had some barrels of water, but it's June, it quickly got hot. So what was more important when you're in the ocean, you're surrounded by salt water? Are you worried about covering, or are you worried about having fresh water to drink? So we really began to go down that road of what would you rather? So when we talk about how much water we use here in Bermuda or how much we consume, we even looked at a t-shirt. how many gallons of water does it take to make a t-shirt, a single t-shirt? And when you look at everything from the manufacturing to the transportation to getting it here in Bermuda, a single t-shirt takes the same amount of water as 2 1/3 trucks of water in Bermuda. But we went beyond that because that's all about freshwater, and we are the Underwater Exploration Institute. So we looked at, okay, what does water mean, and how has that impacted and the warming of the oceans? What has that done to our water lenses? What has that done to Bermuda as it sits on the seamount? So all of this is going to be shared during World Water Day in a very educational and fun way. We have the video, as I said, we've got some hands-on activities. We even have a sparkling water tasting. So a lot of people don't, they say, I don't like water, I don't drink water. It's not something that is to my taste. So we're introducing another way to just think about water and what it takes to make it.
I was actually one of those people. I never liked water. I liked sparkling water before I liked regular water. So that's interesting. But what, Karla, ultimately can attendees expect to take away from the event?
I would expect them to be able to walk out of this facility and think, wow, okay, there is a reason that this one element of nature that I've taken for granted that I need to be more conscious of, more intentional in the way that I utilize it, and more intentional about protecting our sources.
Now, Zach, once again, we have Lindo who's supporting another great initiative in the community. Why is this one important to Lindo's?
Oh, for lots and lots of reasons. I think Karla's, I'm learning from awesome Karla this morning for sure. But yeah, water is a huge part of what we do in Bermuda. We all know, because we all have tanks, and we all know that we've got to safeguard what we've got. This year seems a little different because it's been raining for, I don't know, seems like whenever it rains now, it rains an inch, which I'm thankful for. Hey, look, I'm the first guy to appreciate the rain because you never know when it's going to rain again, right? So when you look at your diet and things like that, for us, water is a big component of that. And when you factor in diabetes and alternative drinks and things like that you want to consider, water's got to be the first one. So like you said, Karla, when I never liked water either. And I started off drinking sparkling water, and now I just drink still water. I got a bottle on my desk, and I go through that probably one a day. And I try to drink 1.5 liters, and it's just a big component. And it used to be I would drink a can of soda instead of water, and that was a big mistake. So, but I think when it comes to us at Lindo's, we're always trying to find ways for people to choose healthier options, and water is got to be the top of the list.
Now, Karla, you said in the beginning how I thought you raised such a good point when you said young people come, up to 10 years old, usually with school, and then some never come back. Some adults have never been. Outside of World Water Day, what are some other educational opportunities offered at the Bermuda Underwater Exploration Institute?
Well, we had prior to COVID and the capacity restrictions, we have this great theater here. So we had talks that went on that were mission relevant, so around the ocean and exploration. And so we had films that brought in adults and people from all over. We do have a large group of people that come here on a regular basis that rent the facility for different purposes. We have educational tours that were really quite popular. And that we are looking forward to starting back up again. But really, because of COVID, we've pivoted to doing a lot of things online, like many businesses and organizations. So we have Ocean Hour, which is a series that delves into information about the ocean and what's happening there. So we're looking at a number of different ways to re-engage the public. I think the most important thing is that there are people that understand the importance of the ocean, but they're just not sure, well, what does that mean to me? You know, what do I do about it? I try not to litter. I participate in oceanside cleanups, but what more is it that I can do? And I'd like to think that our education team, which is superb, are very good at identifying not just what you can do about it, but why it's important. So as we go forward in this year, there's a couple of things you're going to see happen. One of them is we are going to be partnering in hopefully in a very meaningful way to the community with the SailGP that's coming up shortly. I mean, they're looking at highlighting the importance of Black Bermuda in the sailing in Bermuda's maritime history. And as we have maritime history in our statement and what we are doing in terms of education, we're really looking forward to amplifying those stories. And we have a perfect location to do that. People can park, they can come in, they can sit socially distanced, and they can hear about Bermuda's history and about the people of color and how they, like all of us, and how we have really made a difference. Those stories aren't typically told. Mm-hmm. And then we're also getting ready to begin the planning for a new type of engaging exhibit that will be a type of maker space that will be open for seniors during the day and young people in the evening and afternoons and weekends, where they can come in and not only be creative, but be challenged to use that creativity to actually solve some problems and learn more about the ocean.
Indeed. I just want to say the Bermuda Underwater Exploration Institute is one of the best places to go on the island just for a day out. So, I mean, young people, I know the comment was made, people go when they're young and never go back. It's definitely one of those places that it at least when I used to go, it would change. There would be new things. During the America's Cup, they had a little exhibit there as well. So you just mentioned with SailGP. So first, if you are looking for something to do and it just socially distant restrictions are, applicable to you, then check it out. It's really cool. I just want to go back to World Water Day, Karla. Just explain to people how they can sign up and find out more information about it.
Mm-hmm. I want to really promote the hashtag Water to Me. We have hundreds of school kids that have stated what water means to them. So that'll be also showcased on that day. And you'll see more of that out in the public realm. We've got a real big social media campaign going on at challenging people. Would you rather have water for a week or flush your toilet every day for 4 days? When you think about how much water we use and what that really equates to. So that's going to be a big part of the day, going through, it's a 90-minute guided tour. So when you come in, you will be greeted by someone. You'll go from stage to stage to stage. And again, hands-on activities, some fun stuff, some things to really pique your curiosity, and it's great for all ages. So what you need to do is go to our website, buoy.bm, and just click on the link, because we walk through 12 people at a time. And every 30 minutes, we'll take another group of 12. And that way you're allowed to be socially distanced. You can engage and interact in a meaningful way without hands-on around a lot of people. So it is going to be somewhat personalized. We also have something for you that you take away at the end that will help you put some of what you learned into practice, but in the most practical of ways. So that's a little souvenir, I'll call it. But our website is the key, and you can sign up online.
All right. So just, you said BUE, so it's buei.bm?
Yeah, buei.bm, or you can call us at 294-0201. If you don't have the opportunity to go online, you can call us and we can book a time for you. So that 12 people, it could be anybody. It could be a family of 4 plus 2 individuals and then another group of 3. It doesn't matter, but those time slots are for 12 people each. All
righty. Good information. Thank you so much for coming on our platform and having this conversation. Zach, always appreciate you bringing it.
I got one question for you, Jamal. Let's see how good you are. So the black history in Mariners is extremely rich. The DeShield brothers, they sailed up here to escape slavery, and they arrived on the shores of Bermuda. But why do you think when you go to St. George's, what do you say?
Oh, yeah.
What do you say when you go to St. George's? What do you say when you're going up Somerset?
Up the country, down the country.
Right. So why do you think that is?
You know what? I've always had that question myself, because I'm like, when you look at a map, isn't it the opposite? You know, we say down the country, St. George's, and isn't St. George's more north? So I've always wondered that question.
Downwind and upwind.
I knew it had nothing to do with where they were on the map, but I didn't.
Hold on, I'm a little offended, Zach, because I know my time, what's it called? My track on the Daily Play isn't that great.
Yeah.
But you didn't ask me. You asked Jamal.
Well, he's been quiet all this time.
Look, am I running off? Like,
no, I
my track record that bad?
As you look daily, Karla. That's all that was.
May I please just say I do want to recognize Zach and his work in the community with Lindo's and to thank him for his support, because for a nonprofit such as Bowie, which we are, just being able to open our doors and make this event free to the public is done through the generosity of someone like Lindo's. So I am thankful. Always great working with you, Zach.
Indeed,
you too. You're awesome, Karla.
I just want to throw this in, because this is important. There's nothing like being chastised for flushing a toilet, Charles H. Jeffers II says. But I remember in Bermuda growing up, right? Want to talk about water being like a hot commodity? You stayed in that shower, right? You got a shower in my house, at least. You had to wet your body, then turn it off, soak your body, then turn it back on. You know, like, I don't know if it's still like that in some households, but I don't think the generation behind me would understand how much of how important water is just from those situations, right?
It depends how far into the drought we are.
Yeah.
Right now it's not a concern, but there, come middle of April, end of May, if it hasn't rained, then you're starting to lay down the law. Yeah.
All right, thank you both, and look forward to a positive event. Look forward to hearing about it. Have a great one.
Thank you guys.
You're awesome.
You're awesome.
So are you. Wow, that was such a memory, though. We talk about the shower. I never did that, and someone told me that as an adult, and I was like, people do that. But being in the UK, they flush toilets after everything, and that was a mental shift for me, because I was like,
yeah, you should.
What do you mean you're flushing? Growing up, you just put Dettol in the water. You put a disinfectant in the water so that it didn't smell. But it's amazing how things are so culturally different. Seriously, because the water is not like in Bermuda. I can't explain it. But if you live in the UK, people, explain it to Jamal for me.
If anybody uses a bathroom, flush the toilet. I don't flush the toilet. Nikita Average Robinson, Zach at Lindo's group of companies is awesome. Look, Kathy Brumby, upwind and downwind. Look, it reminds me of the conversation we had about the Chicago politicians. Why they call Chicago the Windy City. Everyone thinks it's because it's windy. No, it's because the politicians were known as windbags. So we learn something new every day, right? Carla John says, Charles H. Jeffers and your granny got mad at you for letting the dishwasher. Oh, yes.
That was toilet flush water. Yes. Exactly.
Look, we had it hard, you all look. Don't let anybody tell you Bermudians 35 and up didn't and yeah, I'm saying 35. Don't mind me. Don't let anyone say we didn't have it a little bit rough. We had to. I remember, no lie. Tell me if you had this in your household. Take the water from your bath and put it in a bucket and then flush the toilet.
You know what? Yes, my granny used to do that. My granny was the water Nazi. I wasn't even allowed to wash dishes because she had to control the water in the house in that aspect. She was the water Nazi.
Yeah. Look, we're going to get to some happiness. So it is Tamara Donnell's time. We're going to go to the movement moment for this week. Speaking about happiness, and happiness is important. And as we spoke about the what are they called? The royal family? What would Meghan and Harry?
Depending on who you're referring to. Well, Meghan and Harry, they're Meghan and Harry.
Meghan and Harry and mental health is such a thing that we've been talking about. So we're going to turn it over to Tammy, and then we'll be back. We're going to have go to some commercials, the Daily Play, and then we also have the inspirational thought from Karla for today. So stick with us, check this out, and enjoy.
This movement moment brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Together, we can illuminate your path to wellness.
Welcome to Up Close and Personal Movement with Tamara Donnell, brought to you by People's. Today, we're discussing happiness. Are some of us wired to be happier than others?
Good morning, Jamal, and good morning to your listening audience. Every month this year, my movement with Tamara Donnell has focused on what I call the horoscope of power. And in March, I decided that happiness was one of the key components in our horoscope of power. Those are the inputs that allow us to live our best life, in my opinion. So when I think about happiness, you can't think about happiness without thinking about the opposite of happiness, which I guess in the medical world would be termed depression, anxiety, some of the other mental health challenges that people face. And so I ask myself often, are some of us just wired to be happier than others? It's a known fact that there are happy hormones, right? There are hormones and neurotransmitters in the body that promote that feeling of happiness, which can either be, pleasure, happiness. Some of the reward centers in the brain light up. Those hormones are dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. Many of you out there who enjoy running would know the expression, the runner's high. When we exercise, that's known to increase endorphins. So, one could ask themselves, are people who exercise more happy than those who lead a sedentary lifestyle? I don't know, but for many of us who perhaps, especially considering the times we're in with COVID-19, feeling isolated from our loved ones, which would affect our oxytocin, are we getting enough exercise to compensate and to boost that level of happiness that one would feel? Some of the important inputs to maintaining those happy hormones, I feel we need to talk about ad nauseum, because who doesn't want to live a happier life? So I just touched briefly on exercise for the release of endorphins, but something as simple as the sunlight, going out into the sun on a daily basis is essential for proper sleep, for gut health, and the gut truly does control our mood, our mental health, and so many of the other processes in our body. And anything that controls your mood and your mental health ultimately controls your happiness as well. Another thing is laughter. Just laughing with your friends boosts those happy hormones and would obviously lead to a better sense of happiness and pleasure. Sharing a meal with your loved ones. How many of us have gotten away from that because of the fast pace of life? But sharing a meal, particularly a meal that you find pleasurable, releases oxytocin, but it also increases the dopamine levels in the body. So just some of these simple things that we used to take as a norm, but our busy lifestyles have pulled us away from. We need to look back at why we did it and how valuable it was in our happiness. Certain foods also help. There are amino acids in the body, such as tryptophan, which help with those hormone levels. So are we eating a diet that encourages the amino acids we need to create the hormones? Thank you for tuning into this movement moment. To enjoy the benefits of the full episode, check us at Instagram at MVMT with Tamara Donnell or at People's BDA.
And yes, that was I found interesting from Tammy just now. Our food can determine our happiness. That's interesting. And it makes sense, because I know people that say you eat so much comfort food and you be like, tired, relaxed, probably a bit lazy. But that was an interesting one. Happiness, the amount of things that go into our moods that we don't even consider. Like sitting off watching Netflix probably will make us feel satisfied, but is it making us happy? Simple habits. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back with the daily play, which Karla's had pretty much an hour to prepare for, so she should get it one time. And then after that, she's going to give us some inspiration, and we'll have a little recap of today's show. All right, Karla, you
got
good?
a rap in my head. That's why I'm bumping.
Oh,
Hope it's Biggie, Biggie, Biggie. Can't you
I hope
see?
you're on the right track. I just hope you're on the right track.
Hi, Bermuda. Now that we have covered the difference between internet and Wi-Fi and introduced you to our One Home Wi-Fi solution, we want to show you some of the amazing features it has to offer besides ensuring Wi-Fi coverage in and around your home. Our Eero devices are plug and play, making them super easy to install. They come with features to help you monitor the internet connections and speed tests from the palm of your hand, and health checks to let you know the status of your internet connection. Now, for the parents out there, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. With the Eero app, you can create profiles for each of your kids and pause their internet access no matter where you are. Kids not doing their homework? Or is it family dinner time? No problem. Just press pause. You can also say goodbye to that sticky note with a Wi-Fi password. Grant access to Wi-Fi for guests and visitors, or remove extra devices from your Wi-Fi connection. Check us out at One Today to sign up and gain full control of your internet experience.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. She's Karla Zul. I'm Jamal Hartman. It is the Daily Hour. Thanks again to One Communications, Medical House, and Lindo's. Also our friends over there at Channel 82. Here's the daily play for you today. Karla, do you need any more time?
How could I study? I don't even know. Knowing you, it's probably something from like Grandmaster Flash or something.
No, me. I actually always, okay. I always help her, folks, but of course I'm the bad one. Here we go. Help Karla out with this. Quote, considered a fool because I dropped out of high school, stereotypes of a black male misunderstood, and it's still all good. And if you don't know,
Tupac.
now
That's
you know,
just
end quote.
Oh, Biggie. Because you said it. And if you don't know, now you know. Please.
Okay, so what's the name of the song? That's not
You know very well. Candy, no, who you are. Oh my God, is that song? What's it called? I can hear the whole song in my head. It's a one-word song. It's not Candy. It's a C word. I don't know. What's it called? I thought it was Tupac. Wait, it's Biggie, right? Juicy. I knew it was a one word. It had a C in it. I think I know the song.
And she was making fun of you if you said Tupac, not singing.
Joy preserve our friendship. No, I said Biggie, so I got that right. I have to process. I process different people. So I was doing process of elimination, but I could not remember that song. Can I tell you a quick Biggie song? So I won tickets for a Biggie concert. Way back in 1990 something, and I won the tickets and the offer, and then he got murdered, so I never got to go.
Oh my!
That's the one time I've ever won anything.
Yes, and he was murdered on March 9th, which was yesterday, 1997. So Biggie Smalls, one of the best to ever do it, didn't get to do it long. Still can't believe he and Tupac were they were young folks, 25 and 24 when they were both murdered. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Christopher Wallace, aka Biggie Smalls, aka Notorious B.I.G., his murder still unsolved today. Interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had mad flow. That was Juicy, and someone said Juicy Fruit, so it was to the beat of Juicy Fruit, the original. So
it had a C in it.
Oh my goodness, just hanging on to that C. What are your thoughts, folks? Let us know what you think of today's show. What are your thoughts on today's show, Karla?
Oh, it was awesome. I think it's the BUEI is like an undiscovered gem in Bermuda. I always found it quite fascinating the couple of times I've been there. But we do take water for granted. As you see, I love water. That's one of the things I miss is pretty water being in the UK, but we do take it for granted. So I think days like this is a great one.
Yeah, it's not until you don't have something you kind of realize how much you need it, or how much of a commodity, like it's how important it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget. I mean, we had people sharing stories about water earlier, like what we used to do with water. Water wasn't just something you let go so easily. You recycle water. And when you think of it, like you tell these stories today, people won't believe you. But no, we recycled water. And it only, if it weren't for hurricanes, and you can't even say hurricanes anymore because everyone's got like a generator now. But some people really wouldn't understand what we, done. And I'm not saying our experiences compare with our ancestors. I'm not saying that. But at the end of the day, how far we've come, and appreciating the natural resources like water and what it is, right?
Have you ever had to bail water out of the tank in Bermuda?
Absolutely.
When I living on my own with my children, that was so fascinating, but such a tedious job. I loved doing that.
I used to love it as well. I used to love being able to tie the rope to the bucket, sending it down in the tank, bringing it up, and filling up the basin, whatever. But that's a Bermudian pastime. That's something that I do wonder if children now growing up actually experience that, right?
You ever wondered if you could swim in your tank? I always wondered. Oh, right. Sorry. I forgot I'm talking to a landlubber.
Yeah.
I always wanted to know if I could swim down there, but never tried.
Yeah. Yep. Nope. Never passed my mind. Any inspiration for the people today, Karla?
Besides, Jamal is awesome. Mistakes are a fact of life. It is the response to the error that counts. Nikki Giovanni.
I like that one. It's not so much what you do. Sir Alex Ferguson used to always say, it's not about losing, it's how we respond to the loss. If you respond to it with another loss, it's a problem. If you respond, you learn your lesson, and you go back, you fix it, you come back out, and you win. Well, draw, don't lose. But yeah, it's all how we respond to things sometimes. I would agree. Tomorrow we have a big show. The daughter of the late legendary former New Jersey principal in Patterson, Joe Clark, who passed earlier this year, Hazel Clark, she will be stopping by to speak about her father's legacy. If you've ever seen the movie Lean on Me, that movie where Morgan Freeman played Joe Clark, that movie was based on Mr. Clark. So really looking forward to that conversation. We've seen the movie, some of us only recently, but we've seen the movie. We have an idea of what Mr. Clark may have been like as a principal, and we're going to find out from his daughter what kind of person he was, and how she and her siblings and her family just intend to keep his legacy alive. So if you don't like whatever you're doing tomorrow, make sure you're tuned in, because that's going to be a very, very good conversation. We're looking forward to that conversation with Hazel. If you haven't already, make sure you check out She-Hulk TV, because Karla's getting all these plaudits all around the world. New publications. So congratulations to Karla. Give Karla some props in the comments.
Oh, thank you.
Let her know, keep going, and we appreciate what she's doing with her brands. And if you haven't already, make sure you download the app, listen to the Full 100 Radio. You can go to the full100radio.com 24/7. It's just the best music you will ever hear. You won't regret it. Karla, any final words before we leave them for the day?
Well, it's romance night for your favorite romantic classic, so you better tune in to the Full 100.
Oh my goodness. On that note, roll call. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you give us a love, let us know in the comments how you enjoyed today's episode. We'll be back with another PG show tomorrow, right, Karla?
I just gave him a little incentive to listen to the station tonight.
That's your incentive. Thanks again to our partners, Medical House, One Communications, and Lindo, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She is Rated R Karla. I am Jamal Hartman. My friends, make it a great day.